Former Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence has been the #1 overall pick for the last 3 years. Hell, maybe even 4 or 5 years going back to his days in high school. Back in the day. He's been a national champion, has the size, has the arm. Sunshine Ronnie Bass should and could be the #1 overall pick to the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's the prize crown jewel of the 2021 draft. And we've even forecasted that, he's been so boringly good that eventually there will be mock drafts come out in the next couple of weeks. Just watch, where Trevor Lawrence falls from #1 for the clicks, for the clout. Could Trevor Lawrence not be the #1 overall pick? Question mark. Right. And now it's complicated. It is a little bit complicated now. And I understand we are being hypocritical. It's like, oh, well, we're talking about it. Yeah, but could it be a possibility? Could it possibly happen? Could, say, BYU Zach Wilson, the Storm of Mormon, or Ohio State's Justin Fields go #1? Or could the Jaguars trade out of the spot? Or could they draft Lawrence at 1 and then pull an Eli Manning and then trade him to some other team that lands a quarterback that they want for a little extra sugar? Is that possible? Well, it just got interesting and complicated this weekend, as news of Trevor Lawrence needing labrum surgery on his non-throwing shoulder this offseason is new to the equation. Now, reports say that he's going to be fine by training camp, going to be good to go. There's not going to be any offseason this year yet again due to the COVID, so it should be fine. But does he fall to 14? Nah, he does look good in purple, though. But at his introductory press conference with the Jaguars, new head coach Urban Meyer talked about, quote, who we pick at that quarterback spot. That's going to be one of the most important decisions I've made in my lifetime. So he could have just said, well, when we take Trevor Lawrence, we're going to win a dozen Jerome Bardys in the next 10 years. Jacksonville has no #1 overall pick. They could take Trevor Lawrence right now if they wanted to. Oh, are they playing a little bit of poker? It is BS season, just trying to gauge the trade markets. Like, hey, if a team wants to come up and move heaven and earth and just give us everything just to drop down a couple spots and still get our guy, sure. Or what if new OC Darrell Bevell and quarterback coach, passing game coordinator Brian Schottenheimer, they're like, hey, we're betting on the traits of Zach Wilson. We think that he could be the guy. He could be the next Patrick Mahomes. We understand that it's a risk, but we'd rather go with Zach Wilson, even though Trevor Lawrence has all the clout, right? Or Urban Meyer, his time at Ohio State, Ryan Day, his successor at the Ohio State University, maybe he goes to bat for Fields and said, hey, if you don't draft Justin Fields, you'll be the biggest moron in National Football League history, Urban. Like, you will fail. You'll have to have another heart attack just to get out of this thing. Because now, if you don't take Fields, you're going to be a loser. Loser. Well, the surgery potentially could give them cover, because if they could be unsure and blah, 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 and even though it's a non-throwing shoulder, labrum, not serious. Like, he'll get to surgery, he'll be fine. Like, Trubisky had the same surgery last offseason on his non-throwing shoulder, and he was just as bad this year as he has been in the past. So he didn't get any worse, so that's a positive sign. But if the team really wants Wilson or Fields, or maybe they do have some question marks about Lawrence, or if it is neck and neck Pepsi challenge and they just slightly go with BYU or Ohio State, I mean, this would give them the necessary PR cover, because you don't get heat for taking the sure thing. Like, you get fired a lot slower by taking Trevor Lawrence as opposed to taking a shot on a guy like Zach Wilson. Lawrence is still the real deal. He's got the size, he's got the arm, he's got accuracy, he's got mobility, he's got pocket awareness, he's got the intangibles, he's a great leader. But if you want to nitpick, all right, so let's do it. He does have a long delivery, which would be not be simpatico if he doesn't have a great offensive line in front of him. Like, just that fraction of a second of less time of him in the pocket. Or would NFL DBs be able to break on the ball, read his body language? Is he tipping his pitches that fraction of a second quicker in the National Football League due to his release not being that snappy? Or the fact that he never won the Heisman. Like, yes, he's been great over the last 3 years, but every single season he had never been the best player in college football, or at least voted as such. And he was actually never the top vote getter for quarterback in each of the 3 years, which is kind of amazing. And yes, he won the national title as a true freshman, but he never won another. He got shellacked by Ohio State in the semis last season. But like I said, that is all extremely nitpicky. Or if you really dig deep, put out, oh, no one went to his birthday. It's probably not true. Or I actually think that for Trevor Lawrence not to be #1 overall pick, like, he'd have to murder like 16 people. It'd have to be a lot. And if the Jaguars do pass on Lawrence, I think that there still could be a revolt in Duval amongst the fan base, labrum or not. And possibly justifiably so, since he's going to be perfectly fine. Passing on the surest thing since Andrew Luck, since Peyton Manning, since John Elway for the small school BYU kid or Justin Fields. Oh, by the way, so interesting dynamic with Fields is that Jaguars fans, Northeast Florida, there's a lot of crossover with Florida Gator fans. And would they really welcome in a guy like Justin Fields, the former Georgia Bulldog commit, their adversary in the world's largest outdoor cocktail party? Would they do that? Or do they consider him an Ohio State quarterback now? Nah. It'd be like the Vikings drafting a Badgers quarterback. It'd be like, great, cool. But we are firmly in BS season. But if the Jaguars do want to gauge the market of another team, potentially want to come up and trade for Lawrence, I mean, you're going to start hearing, like, sources tell us that the Jaguars aren't sure who would take at the top, blah, blah, blah. Watch. Next couple days, next couple weeks, those leaks will come out. You'll see those mocks that have Trevor Lawrence falling and could open up the gates. Could a quarterback-needy team really offer the Jaguars, say, 4 number 1 overall picks and some substantial players? Possible. I mean, could they still get Wilson and Fields and then sweeten up their deal? Like, could they go to the Jets or potentially even the Dolphins, or, well, Jets specifically, where, hey, Jets, we will take your first rounder that you got from Seattle or a future one for you to move up one spot so you can take Lawrence. We move down to 2. We still get the guy we wanted, and we get a first round pick for free, essentially. So be careful, man. It is BS season. I still think it's a 99.99% chance that Trevor Lawrence is going to be the number 1 overall pick, but it's not a 0% chance that he isn't. So I guess we'll see. Be your thoughts. Lawrence needing surgery. Could he fall from 1? ? We embrace that. Plus, Little Wayne talks about the NHL lockout next on First Take. Now, let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work? Pull us on the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.